Hello, greetings. It's Courtney Rollins with the State Pro Service here on the Life in Transitions Experts podcast, where we try to help families who are really make the probate and the estate planning process easier while solving problems and creating opportunities for income and wealth through real estate. Again, as I said, I am the operator of Estate Pro Service and the host of this YouTube channel. If you are watching this on YouTube, would love for you to subscribe and like if you find this content favorable. Share it with folks. Hopefully, it's helpful. I am a probate specialist in North Carolina, probate expert, which means I don't know everything about probate, but I am committed to the process, to learning and sharing what I know. Another thing about that is that when you're going through probate, if you find yourself going through probate, you may be, hopefully, you don't have to go through too many probates because once you go through one, you may have set up things for your family and for yourself so that they can avoid probate for you or your other family members will avoid probate. So that's great. If you need any resources for that, reach out to me and I can point you in the right direction. But if you are going through probate, it may be one of those things where it's like, okay, what's supposed to happen next? And so we have a checklist here that we're going to review that I hope you find helpful and stick around. Or if you want, you can just go ahead and email me at Courtney@estateproservice.com and I'll send you a free copy of the PDF. Disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am sharing my opinion. And again, hopefully it's helpful to you out there. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. So, probate, just a reminder for folks, is the legal process of settling the estate, settling the affairs of someone who's passed away. If you pass away in North Carolina, really any part of the nation, with property or assets or even debt in your name, there has to be a legal way for it to be distributed to different spaces. There's legal instruments you can put in place that help you avoid probate, particularly things like beneficiaries upon death for your bank accounts and life insurance and things of that nature. Uh, uh, or trust, which are awesome ways to make sure in your lifetime, or if you pour it over into the trust with a will, the right instrument, that you don't own it when you pass away, are ways you can avoid it. But sometimes things happen and people have property and debt in their name, and so there has to be a way to rectify that. And probate's the legal process. In North Carolina, here's the general steps that you would take. You open up the probate, you take the inventory. We're going to go a little more detail with the checklist. You notify the creditors, settle the debts and taxes, distribute the inheritance, and final accounting and close the estate. So let's go through a little checklist. One of the things you're going to do is when you start, you're going to make sure that you have the property secured, all the property, all the estates, all the assets secured. And one way to do that is to make an inventory. There are documents you'll use. You can go to stateproservice.com/probate forms to get all the documents that you'll need as of December 27th, 2023 for North Carolina. But by securing the real estate, we mean making sure if there is real estate involved and someone is no longer living there, make sure you have the no trespassing sign up. Make sure you have the proper vacant property insurance rider if if the real estate is vacant, so that God forbid something does happen, you're covered with the insurance, or if someone, maybe a relative, or perhaps someone as a squatter is in there, you have the proper notices so that it makes it easier for you to do the legal steps you need to take to resecure the property. You're also going to go ahead and obtain the death certificate. If it's applicable, get a copy of the will. And then during this time, you'll decide whether you need to notify the life insurance companies or decide if you're going to get representation from an attorney and have them. You can seek legal counsel. You could do it by yourself. I highly encourage you do connect with an attorney to help you through the process. If you need attorneys, I am connected to North Carolina, some of the best family attorneys available, and definitely could connect you there. So would love to do that. Um, you would become the personal representative once you actually file the probate in Durham County. Now, know that you're going to need to get an appointment, so you need to call ahead and expect for it to take several weeks to maybe a month or so to get uh, to actually sit down with the deputy clerks in there and file the probate. The next step is they're going to give you your letters of testamentary if there's a will, or letters of administration if there isn't a will and you've the administrator of the estate. And if there's no other person that you have to uh, make sure isn't stepping up to be the administrator, you may have to go through that process as well. And of course, these nuances depend are case to case. You'll make sure that you run the notice to creditors. There's two newspapers in Durham County that you use, either the Herald Sun or the Carolinian that are we know are vetted, and you can use. There has to be a certain publication spread that they have access to give people proper amount of time, reasonable, or to reach out to enough people so they are reasonably reaching out to folks so they can see, hey, I have a claim against this estate and I can, address that or at least put that out there. I would definitely recommend you set up a bank account for the estate so that you can run the different uh, accounting and once the notice of creditors come in and you've addressed the notices by hopefully negotiating them down or maybe getting them to zero, which doesn't always happen, but it doesn't hurt to ask, then you can at least be making payments and bringing in collecting income if there's still income coming in through the estate uh, there. So that's the administration of the estate. And you need to determine if you are preparing the property to sell or to have it ready for the heir, you may want to go ahead and get the property cleaned out, cleared out, look at any repairs or maintenance you need to have done. If there's lawn care or maintenance, maybe gutter cleaning, painting, or clean the exterior. If you need a real estate professional to help you with that, definitely reach out to us. That's our Jimmy Jam right there, and we can help connect you with contractors or give you our own uh, assessment of what we think may need to be done, depending on what you want and what your desires are. You may have to identify any personal property and make sure it's divided up amongst your heirs. If you need to arrange a estate sale of any valuable property that the heirs don't want, you'll need to go ahead and set that up. There are a ton of resources that I work with that are excellent at that, carrying transitions, um, NC Homes. There are a lot of places that would really, or this is what they're set up to do, and that's one of the things that I'm able to do is connect folks to those spaces so that they can have their personal property and the personal property of the state taken care of in a empathetic way that also hopefully they'll bring some funds to the estate so that they can be distributed to the heirs. If you need to donate clothing or any of the belongings the heirs don't want, you need to consider that. You need to make sure you schedule the clean out. There's a lot that takes place in that space. Now, if you decide that, hey, some of the stuff you just don't want to do, there are cash buyers like myself who will quite often, if it fits our criteria or that cash buyer's criteria, take the property off your hand and deal with all the personal items there. But it really depends on what your needs are, particularly if you're talking about a loved one's personal items. There's definitely some sensitivity to making sure that you have the opportunity to process the way you want to process that. And again, then around that stage, you'll either sell the real estate or rent it out, or whatever your desired needs are for that there. All right. Uh, Once you've made all the payoffs and you have administered the state, you're keeping uh, good records. You're notifying Social Security Administration and making sure that any survivors receive the benefits if applicable. Then you can actually distribute the remaining amount after you paid off the debt the the heir. So after you've addressed the debt, you can send out the and file the tax. Excuse me. You can send out the the remaining amount. It's called distribution of assets according to the will or state intestate law. I can't stand saying that word. It's such a challenge to me. If there isn't a will, and then you would set up the closing of the estate with the state office, close all the bank accounts, and submit the final accounting so that you can be relieved of your duties. And you finish up right there. So again, if you want a checklist, please reach out. This all the information I shared right there is on a checklist for you that hopefully you'll find helpful. Even a space for you to fill out and organize some of the inventory so that you can transfer it over to the inventory sheet the official sheet that you'll be using. But definitely reach out if you need any support. Hopefully this will find this helpful to you. And other than that, this is the Life in Transitions Experts Podcast, LITE. Let your light shine. Cheers.